Hey, everybody, let me ask you something. Are you putting a lot of content out there? Are you putting a lot of information out there? You're posting, you're emailing, creating newsletters, creating a landing page, and they're just not landing? Well, let me ask you something about that. Why? Why do you think this is? What's the challenge? What's going on? And where are the problems sitting for you all today? I'm going to tell you, I think it's a clarity problem, not a content problem. We keep thinking that we need better content, we need to have more marketing, better tools, and there may be some truth to that. There may be some challenges for that in place here. Let me see if I need to fix something here real quick. Nope, I don't. Okay, cool. We need to move on and get some of that in place. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I want us to start getting real clear. I want us to get real clear on our topics. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is one of the things that we need to start thinking about is how to simplify our conversations, how to simplify our message, how to bring this into play inside the conversations, how to make sure this works for who we're talking to when we're talking to them. The reason being is we are living in the noisiest, most crazy time ever, right? We get social media blasts everywhere, emails, AI generated content. We have a lot going on, right? And it's a challenge, it's a problem. And all these things these days, even with the addition of AI, is not simplifying our lives. It's adding more noise, more more conversations to the table. And what I want us to do here is start thinking about how do we navigate those waters? How do we navigate the noise in the ocean today that we're fighting with? And I think it's really simple. I think it's getting clear, not trying to sound more professional or more smarter, or even more polished. What I think this is really trying to do is making sure whatever our message is being way more insightful. Hey, everyone, thanks for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying. Tell me where you're from in the comments. That would be awesome. And we'll talk more about this. Now, the reason why I think when we try to be more professional or sound smarter or more polished, it's great, especially if we're using AI. And I got a video next week talking about what that means. But I think we overcomplicate it. The message becomes murky. We don't become simple. The emails, the posts, they just don't land because our conversation just isn't clear enough for our people. And when we're unclear, so is the people we're talking to, right? There's a normal buyer's journey. Confused buyers don't buy, right? And the reason they're confused is we are, right? We're trying to hit everything instead of just being who we are and being very on point about those conversations. And that's really what I want us to think about. I'm gonna butcher kind of a quote. Way back in the day, a professional speaker said something along these lines, and it just rung with me. Um, if you want me to teach all day, I can be ready tomorrow. You want me to teach and talk about it for half a day, it's going to take me a couple days to get ready. But if you want me to give a 30-minute speech, it's going to take me a month to be ready. The reason being that's so important to understand. And again, I'm totally butchering it, but the sentiments there. And what I want us to understand with this is the reason why that's so important to understand is clarity is very not impossible, but it's very hard and very complicated to get right. So I want you to get clear on your message. I want you to get clear on what we're trying to do in these conversations and making sure that we are moving forward. So that's kind of what we're trying to focus on today. All right. So instead of saying I help clients market opportunities through strategic positioning and data driven insights, how about saying I help homeowners sell faster, avoid leaving money on the table, right? It's a much simpler thing. We can talk about how that's done later by leveraging marketing, but we haven't even got to getting them to ring the tone. These simple changes are very, very easy to do. So it's very simple. What we want to do is start changing and shifting our 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 goals for these conversations. Instead of saying I want to sound good, how about saying I want to be understood? They are not the same thing. The good sounds like industry language, big words, polished messaging. Understood means simple, direct, relevant. These are the differences in these conversations. And here's the truth that we may not want to hear. If people aren't responding, it's probably not because they don't care. It's probably because we're not landing yet, right? And that's where I want us to make sure we're doing. I want to make sure we're landing in these conversations and moving forward out there. Again, thanks everybody for being here. If you have questions, put them in the comments or even tell me where you're from. So let me give you something about how to make this just a little bit easier to make this happen. So before you say anything, before you post an email, video conversation, ask yourself really three questions. What I want you to ask yourself: is this clear to somebody in my industry? If they need to figure it out, if they need to Google it, you're probably going to lose them. The biggest thing I'm going to tell you right now is, especially for my realtor friends out there, all the abbreviations, they're a big challenge, right? When someone puts it out there, someone I was reading an email response. It was essentially things that were going on, and someone put an email to answer that question, and they put abbreviations in there 3 times. I consider myself a pretty smart man, but the abbreviations I didn't understand. I didn't know what they were. I had an assumption, but I didn't know what they were. And because of that, I had to go Google it. Now, one of two things typically happens with people. Some people have to go search it out and find it. Other people say, I think I know, move on, don't care, and I'm done. But if they just would have used simple terms for that instead of trying to abbreviate the conversation, it would have landed much easier, much faster, and probably gotten better responses. Now, the next thing is, am I solving real problems or am I just trying to sound smart, right? People respond to real world applications, real world conversations, real world experiences, and problems that they're trying to solve. If it's relevant to them, they will be there. Hello, how are you? Tell me where you're from. The last one is I always think, and I think this is the best part of this, can it be said simpler? Right? As I gave you an example, I do market insights and data analytics to solve and get your home sold. Okay, great. What does that mean to me? What's the bottom line for me? What's the bottom line for this conversations that I need to make sure I'm understanding? What I just basically said was through my tools and systems in place, I get your home sold faster and for more money, right? Much simpler. I can go in once I've got them, I can go in and make this easier and I can make that happen. It will happen much easier all the time. But we should always ask, can I say it simpler? Can I break it down? Can I be doing this? And again, AI, I'm going to tell you, does a really good job with this. They help you make this said simpler. And I would always have you do it. So here's a challenge I want you to do this week. Take your bio, take your last email, take your last social media post or your last explainer video and tell me one thing. Did it work? Did it land? Could I have said it simpler? Could I have a catchier phrase for what's going on? What is going to make this land just a little bit easier? And ask yourselves, does my industry understand this? Or am I make this too complicated? Simple sells. So at the end of the day, people who win right now aren't the loudest, they're the clearest. And here's what I want us to do: make sure our clarity stands out, builds trust, creates action. And I promise if you can master that, everything else gets a lot easier. Focus on your audience, build that avatar, know what they want to know how you're going to communicate with them, know how you're going to make it simple for them. I hope this works for you. These are all just quick little videos. This isn't here for a long time. Unless people have questions, I'll stick around and answer them. But I hope this helped. I really hope you guys got something for this. In a noisy world, clarity sells. And with that being said, clarity sometimes means simplicity. So hope simplify and clarify your message, and we'll see you later. Put in the comments if you're seeing this later, some of the things you've done and how they're working out. I'd love to hear from you.